WION continues to bring you all the latest on India and China. That remains our top focus today. Despite the heightened tensions between India and China along the line of actual control, China continues to peddle lies. But India has exposed China's sham once again. While China claimed that India fired warning shots along the LAC, the Indian Army has now denied these reports, calling out China's lies. Indian Army has said that the PLA troops were attempting to close in on the forward positions. The Army has also said that PLA fired shots into the air to intimidate their own soldiers. In a statement, the Indian Army asserted that at no stage had Indian soldiers crossed the line of actual control or resorted to any aggressive means, including firing. While India continues to be committed to disengagement and de-escalating the situation on the LAC, China continues to undertake provocative activities to escalate. Earlier, the Chinese Ministry of Defense put out a statement saying that the Indian Army fired warning shots in the presence of the People's Liberation Army and that they crossed the LAC. This development comes days after the Indian and Chinese defense minister met in Moscow. The diplomatic and military level talks between the two sides have failed to yield any results. Recently, India outflanked China by taking control of strategic heights near Pangong Lake's southern bank. It also thwarted an attempt by the Chinese army to enter into Indian areas near the southern bank of Pangong Tso in Ladakh. Meanwhile, Russia has reacted to the escalating border dispute, saying that it hopes India and China will find solution on border issues. Let's quickly get in a sense of perspective on the latest developments. For that, I'm joined in by Mr. Vishnu Prakash, who's former Indian diplomat. He's joining us live from New Delhi at this hour. Thank you, sir, for joining us on this broadcast.
Sure.
Mr. Prakash, let me begin by China's misinformation campaign. The MEA has pointed out to false propaganda and fake quotes being used by leading Chinese publications like China Daily and Global Times. Is India a new target of China's misinformation machinery, as they have already done in the case of US, Taiwan, and the latest being Hong Kong protests?
Well, this is absolutely standard fare for China, not just for their publications, but even for the leadership. They believe that if a lie is repeated 100 times, it acquires a ring of truth. I mean, imagine the situation where they can use such a blatant lie as they did today to say that India had provoked them, had fired warning shots, and then they say no, they just threaten to fire warning shots. So you know, the consequences of such lies are tremendous, but that is the kind of adversary we deal with. To put it in context, after the 15th, 16th night incident at Galwan, when our EM spoke to their FM, what he did do? He accused India and demanded strict punishment. When South China Sea was being militarized, what did the premier do? Premier of China went on an international forum to say nothing was happening. So we have to take it as it comes, because that is standard Chinese fare.
Right. Mr. Prakash very rightly said. Also, what do you make of the Indian Army's current strategic position, and how critical is eastern Ladakh in the India-China standoff?
You know, Akanksha, this is one adversary which does not understand the language of peace, does not understand dialogue. For them, dialogue is a sign of weakness. For them, dialogue and conflict or offense goes hand in hand, so that they believe that when you are offensive, it enables the effectiveness of your dialogue. So we are a believer in dialogue. We have always solved problems, but knowing the adversary, we have also decided that two can play the same game. So if they want it that way, so be it. And once you deal with them from a position of strength, then perhaps, or when they understand that there is a cost to their perfidy, right, perhaps their tone will change. Otherwise, it is difficult to deal with a country which can cast aside any agreements, all understandings for 35 years.
Right. It's important for India henceforth to remain in a position of strength. On that note, Mr. Prakash, how crucial is it for the Indian forces to remain and occupy strategic heights in order to ensure Chinese disengagement, considering China has been the one creating new flashpoints from Galwan to Gogra or even Pangong Tso?
Well, I cannot say they should occupy or otherwise. All I can say is that our forces, A, are the most disciplined, B, they are battle-hardened. C, they have a free hand from the leadership to do what it takes to A, protect Indian territory, to thwart the misadventures of China. We do not covet their territory, but at the same time, we have demonstrated a capability of defending what is our own. Last point, Akanksha, here, I've said it again earlier, I'll say it again. Geography has destined India and China to be together.
Right.
It is important that China understands the language of peace and harmony. It's in common interest. We do not want conflict, but if thrust on us or offense thrust on us, we can handle it.
Right. Mr. Prakash, last but not the least, a bilateral between India's Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and his Chinese counterpart is expected to happen on September 10th. How will the latest developments impact the meet, and will Russia, is where the meeting is actually going to happen, will Russia use its good offices to mediate the current situation?
Very important point, Akanksha. One, Russia has a very good relations both with China and India. Number two, Russia understands the sensitivities, and Russia is taking the extreme precaution of not at all hinting at offering it good offices. But should any side want Russia to encourage the other, or I don't think Russia will not be willing to do that. Now, for us, it is important to have a high-level contact. This will be the first or second time that at a very high political level, the two sides will be discussing this issue. Wang Yi and External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, they have interacted several times. I hope that Mr. Wang Yi can understand, or it can be explained to him face to face, that the kind of misadventure that they are engaging in is going to harm both countries.
Absolutely.
And if China were to understand this, it will be better. And also, Akanksha, one good thing, quote unquote, that China has done is they have taken up fights with everybody. The international public opinion is pitted against them, and perhaps they have overreached. It's about time they smell the coffee, and I hope that better sense prevails.
Absolutely. On that note, I'd actually like to quote Mr. S. Jaishankar also. He said that the state of the border cannot be delinked from the state of the relationship. Let's hope that 10th of September brings in some cordial relations between India and China. On that note, thank you so much, Mr. Prakash, for sharing your precious inputs on our broadcast.